starting a show in 3, 2, 1. Hello, folks, and welcome. Thanks for joining us again under the library. This is a show where we play Call of Cthulhu and record it for your entertainment. We are rapidly working our way through the Bloodstone module, written by our very own keeper. My name's Arthur. I am once again playing Harold. I'm joined by a full cast of investigators tonight. Wayne is Oak Tree Larson. Chris is Bo. Rick is playing Philip. Emily's Florence Potter. As always, Scott is Yacker. And our amazing keeper, who can't seem to stop laughing already, is Michael. Michael, you're on. Show's yours.
Oh boy. Welcome to Bloodstone. Bloodstone is a tabletop role-playing game set in the Call of Cthulhu universe. It's a horror.
Oh, you were doing so well.
I was cheering for you.
I got excited. It's a horror tabletop. Oh god, horror RPG.
Tabletop role-playing game.
Yeah, has themes of cannibalism and swearing and generally mature themes played by immature people. We hope you'll join us. And over to you, Emily, with last week's recap. And hopefully
Certainly.
a more articulate approach.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah, it's a low bar.
So last week we continued our discussion, our planning discussion, what to do with our day, mostly going back and forth between fearing for Rose and wondering if we should get her out of Deadwood and fearing going back to Deadwood because of potential legal repercussions. Lots of fear. Florence is also... What?
Okay.
Rose is not dead. Rose is not
for
dead.
those listening in audio only, the keeper just held up a sign
Oh,
that said
fair
Rose with a little smiley face but with X's on the eyes.
I
And a frowny face.
I was just raising your blood pressure, Florence. It's okay. It's just a joke.
just what I need. Yep.
Don't-
Uh-huh.
Don't try to
So
bring her down to your
anyway-
level of intro.
Continuing. We decide to release Philip, who has been locked in the closet. And before his release, we speak to him and try to assure a certain level of acceptable behavior, meaning no more cannibalism. And he agrees to try, which was not quite what we hoped for, but it's a start. He agrees to, do his best. And I believe we reached an agreement where if he had any urges, he would replace human flesh with salt tack in an attempt to avoid such. I'm sorry, I got the keeper again. Luckily, he's muted. So anyway, he also actually shared with us a little more about his experience in the portal, which was very intense and traumatic. Now, we agree to go instead of Deadwood to try to find potentially the families of women and children, the miners' families, or the boy who was taken by the flying creature. And so we're going to follow the train track until it intersects with the flight path of the creature and hopefully find one or the other, or maybe both. Sage will stay with Casper for a few hours. We'll pay her for her time, and we'll go try to find the stolen boy and potentially also the families. So we ride along with a wagon, horse-drawn wagon from Seraphim Falls. In the wagon, Harold makes a special gun shooting sling for Yacker to be able to shoot his shotgun one-armed.
What's that called, Yacker?
Florence, what was it called?
Oh,
What was it
what was
called,
it
Florence?
called? I have to say that, really?
No, you don't.
It was the
Oh,
half-cock.
Please don't. No.
I'm sorry, too late. I was told to say it. I take good notes. So we head southwest out of town by the huge stone, which has some rattlesnakes around. We avoid the pig farm. We eventually spot the tree that Florence remembered as a way to find the site again. and Bo is able to track crowds of people, tracks and footprints and such away from the train. As we end, Florence saw a suspicious mound and rode about 50 feet off the trail. It looks like a grave. And Oak Tree, Yacker, and Bo began to dig.
But it's a mound of cat poo.
It's possible, but we don't know yet.
Rose's body.
Wow.
The keeper is a horrible human.
Oh.
I have a quick question. So we were following the big trail with the wagon tracks, and then we split off and we followed a footpath. And to the side of the footpath was the mound. Did the footpath continue? Does it continue past the mound?
There wasn't really a footpath. Florence just saw the mound and walked over to investigate it. There was no particular path.
Oh, I thought for sure you said there was a point at which there was wagons and stuff, and then
there were
I had to roll
cart
because
tracks and
It was cart tracks and footprints, and you were rolling that you couldn't distinguish whether the cart tracks were coming or going, but you were able to ascertain that all of the footprints only went one direction.
And that was north.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was what
That was-
your
that
roll.
was-
That's my
was the-
understanding when you said I thought that the foot stuff went
No,
in a
yeah,
different direction.
Yeah, that, and I understand. Yeah, that's the distinction. Is the footprints only go one way. The horse prints definitely go two ways. So I
Okay.
guess actually, you know what? My bad. You would be able to distinguish because the carts are drawn by horses, and the horse prints go both ways, but the
Yeah.
footprints only go one way. There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a little more information. It's a good thing you
Yeah.
asked.
So, digging into the mound, what do they find? That would be a question for the keeper.
I was just enjoying Bo digging.
Yeah, I was enjoying those digging sounds.
It was kind of a meditative moment in the.
We were digging your digging.
All right.
Chris.
Who's digging?
I think it was
me and Oak Tree.
Yeah.
Oak Tree, Yacker, and Bo is what I
Yacker.
wrote. I
don't
know,
remember.
but that's
No,
what I
Yacker's
wrote.
No, Yacker's in the wagon.
I think I'm in the wagon. I don't think I went over to
Yeah,
dig.
it was
Okay.
just
Maybe
me and
I-
Oak Tree.
No, he's digging. He's digging with his half cock.
Oh boy.
Wow. All right. So those who are digging, you break through kind of the topsoil, and immediately a load of ants start climbing up the ends of the shovel, like you plunge them into
Are
the
there
dirt.
plastic bags full of kitty litter?
Even ants don't eat plastic bags full of kitty litter.
Are they fire ants?
I think that probably wouldn't work that far north, but I'd love them to
Oh,
be
yeah,
fire
you're
ants.
right.
So we're gonna make them fire ants because I think that'd be more fun. So there's-
Because the keeper is a horrible person.
yes, yeah.
But they're purple. They're Lomava ants.
Ooh, no,
Mm.
Scott, you can't break the game anymore. Okay,
And
so
don't
the fire
give him
ants.
ideas, Jesus.
You wouldn't want them to be Lomava ants. This would be TPK moment. All right. So the fire ants start, converging on the shovel, and they're flying up it. And if you've ever dealt with the little fuckers, they're like fly right up the handle and are quickly on your hands.
Ah, son of a bitch. Okay, I throw the shovel down and try to brush them off, try to get away from them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you weren't the only one shoveling, but I assume.
Oak Tree. I imagine Oak Tree's made of stronger stuff than me.
Okay. You still wouldn't like the little fire ants. Those little fuckers bite.
They
Well,
do sting.
I want to do in our shovel and see if it is just ants or maybe there's something else there. Maybe I spot something.
So yeah, so as you break the topsoil and you get kind of a good hunk off, there's definitely a piece of clothing, but the whole area is now just a swarm of these ants. I mean, they're going in all directions. As you drop your shovel, they've covered your shovel completely, and they're all over the ground.
Okay. I said there's something under here for sure. There's some clothes down there. This could be a grave or something like that. Someone dumped in there. But there's ants everywhere. So if you get some torches or something like that, we can clear some of them ants away. If you have anything over there burns a bit.
Yeah, brought torches in the wagon, but do we have anything we can pour on there to set a light? And kerosene or anything?
Now, I hate to I hate to be a
Banshee
naysayer
bitch.
about this, but if you burn the ants, aren't you going to burn what's inside the hole that you're trying to rescue?
Well, you just
Not
have to clear those ants
necessarily.
away a bit, so there's not so many. Then you could dig a bit. If there's not too many, you can dig. If there's too many, then you can't. And it's simple as that. Just want to get rid of a few of them, stake out a little area with the fire, and check what you want to check for.
This is a very organized conversation for two people covered in fire ants.
Oh yeah. Get off
Very
me!
thoughtful.
Hey.
Hey, we got any like fire billows? You know, out of that list of very explicit things that we said we would bring on the trip.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the ant
Yeah.
spray that I've got with me.
And oh wait, don't we have an anteater?
Yeah.
An anteater.
I'm sure that Philip would concoct a good flower bomb that would rid you of the ants and preserve whatever is underneath the soil.
That's true.
perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
like Florence said, Philip always has some banshee bitch on him.
Yeah, that could work.
I actually did explicitly write down that we were bringing bottles of whiskey. I don't remember who thought that was important.
I think that was for
well, there you
gifts.
The list of supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we do have some bottle. So what are y'all gonna do?
Well, that's where Bo. We're clearing ourselves off of ants as quickly as we can. But I say over to you: is it worth digging in there anymore, or are we just going to find clothes of dead people?
I think it's worth checking out what's in there. Give us some idea of what we might be facing. You know, maybe it isn't just clothes. I mean, if we start the ants alight, we can burn off like the top layer of them, and then if we have to put it out, we can use our spades to put the fire out or throw some dirt on there or whatever.
Well, actually,
Can you
is there-
smoke them out?
that's the thing. Is the grass dry on top of the mound? Because I was going to say where we are is super dry, and that if you light a fire, burn that grass, it's going to clear the ants out real quick.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
everything in its path.
Well, it's a mound. It didn't go
Well,
too far.
yeah, we're on the worn path, so or the wagon is, so we don't have
Yep.
to worry about it.
It's just a dry prairie, so you ain't gonna have a forest fire or nothing like that.
Yep.
So
Before we do this, I want to make sure that the horses and the wagon are far enough away from this
Sure.
Yep.
little
And I'm
scenario
staying-
that's about to happen.
what about the dynamite? Should we keep the dynamite bag right next to the fire?
Yeah, you'll want to keep that close in case you need it.
I'm staying on the wagon in case I have to drive away if the fire gets out of control.
Mhm.
Okay. But yeah, like Harold said, you just pull the wagon down. We'll
Mhm.
stay back here and
Start a brush fire.
start a brush fire. Then we'll try
Harold's-
to outrun it.
Harold's going to keep an eye on the horizon while these guys are doing this thing.
All right. So
Oh, hold your horses. You just
Aren't we going
maybe
to
think of something,
notify
Harold.
everyone
Ah.
watching?
Yeah, Yacker. That's what I was thinking. Thank God we have someone
What?
thinking a step
Oh,
ahead.
Right. Yeah, the signal fire that we're about to create.
The people that we're trying to have not notice us.
brush
Yeah.
fires happen.
Oh, that's some good thinking there, Yacker.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have good ideas now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Oak Tree and Bo, how are you feeling?
Andy,
Oh, feeling a bit stung up. But you say you got whiskey, right? That'll set it right.
Mr. Bo, you want to put some of that whiskey on the outside of you and some on the inside. Make you feel better.
Oh, yep. I put some whiskey on there, nice cooling feeling. Oh, that's not too bad. Don't want to waste too much of it though.
There you go. All right, Mr. Bo, why don't you? We could do a little circle around this mound with the torch, and we'll get these ants scattered off of here. We'll do a little digging. All we need is a corner.
Oh, why, that's a good idea. Why don't we dig up all the grass around it? Then we can set the stuff in the middle of the light and it won't be able to go past it'll take a while.
Do a little circle. Well, just
Yeah.
a little clear, even just clearing it away a little bit, like with our feet and stuff like that. Enough of a break. Shouldn't be too hard to do unless it's
Now,
windy.
just to clarify, we're gonna do the thing that we just decided wasn't a good idea to do.
Well, we're hoping
No,
that.
but
no,
first
we're
he's going to
hoping-
kick some dirt.
Okay.
No, I'll take some time to shovel the grass away, like maybe a yard thick, go around. And then the hope is that only the grass in the middle will burn, and it'll burn fairly quickly, which won't create an actual prairie fire. It'll just create a little puff of smoke.
Okie doke.
You know, actually, a puff of smoke would be more suspicious than a prairie fire. Maybe that's not a good idea.
I don't know how to
yeah.
do this
hell with
without
it.
lighting
Let's-
a signal fire.
Yeah, let's just, I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to steal my nerves. I'm going to run over there and quickly dig in that area where the clothing was and see if I hit a body.
Okay. So you immediately you grab your shovel, you kind of kick it a little bit to knock some of the ants off, and you make a luck roll. Let's see how lucky you are with your first strike.
22.
All right, that's reasonable. So you go to one end of the mound, thinking that you just like some clarification. You
So the part where
quickly
the cloth was revealed.
Yeah, and you scoop off a few like quick, shallow kind of things of dirt, and you hit an open mouth and an eye socket
Oh,
where ants are pouring kind of out of the orifices, and then you put your shovel to the side, and probably now we got a body for sure.
okay. And I run back with the shovel, brush the fire ants off again.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. And yeah, there's at least one body in there for sure. I've seen the head.
Did you see
Yeah.
enough to know what the age was or the gender?
No, that mound is crawling with ants. There's a whole colony. The colony probably goes way, way down as well. So we're just seeing the tip of, I would say, iceberg, but I don't know that I know what an iceberg is.
You're just seeing the tip of the ant mound.
Tip of the ant mound, yeah.
Well, Mr. Bo, do you think it's worth looking any more in there, or those people haven't had a proper burial? I know we shouldn't light a fire for the smoke, your friends say, but it would be a proper way of disposing those folk. That's not a good way to go, leaving them in that.
Well, I tell you, I'm with you in that regard, Oak Tree. I would like to get them out of there, and I don't feel like I've lost any health by being bit by those ants. So aside from the painful inconvenience, maybe we should give it a try.
Okay, Mr. Bo, let's go over there and see if we
So
can.
you dig, and I'll reach in. Oh, I put on my gloves.
Yeah.
Don't cowboys always have gloves for their ropes and shit?
Reins.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
make sense.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
you
I-
gotta protect that nasty little rope burn on your hand.
Oh yeah, so I at least have some leather gloves. So if you shovel, I could like drag out the remains. It didn't seem like a full skeleton. It seemed like there still might be some flesh there holding it together.
Okay, Mr. Bo, we'll do the first one real quick and see how fast we can do this. And so I'll head on over with Mr. Bo and do a couple scoops and get you ready for pulling that thing out.
All right, Mr.
Okay.
Bo, give me a dex roll.
Let's see what we got here. 10.
Well, that's no fun. You sure you
Sorry.
want to re-roll it again? You want to save that 10 for something later?
Well, You know, there's
All
the
right.
assumption is there's only one body there. If there's more, we might have to do this again.
All right, so Oak Tree goes over and he's quickly shoveling. And at this point, though they're kind of swarming, the group's dispersing a little bit as they're agitated and kind of spreading out. And they're not as concentrated as they were. Oak Tree, it's a fairly shallow grave, and as Oak Tree kind of rakes off the 4 to 6 inches of dirt that was covering the body. You quickly see that it's a dress, and the hair's still left. There's some of the flesh still left too. And so you kind of reach down and grab the shoulders
Just
and
quickly
yeah.
drag away.
Mhm.
and
Now you said it was pretty wide, like 4 foot wide.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr.
So-
Bow, I was going to say, as you're pulling it out, Mr. Bow, I think there's going to be more. And I take a look to see if anything else pops up as he's disturbing the dirt.
Yeah, and definitely as Bo pulls the body out, which probably need a constitution roll on
For
this.
ant bites.
Oh, the ant bites and the smell.
Okay, I might not have made that. Let me
Uh-oh.
check.
Hey, here comes that puking you were worried that
Oh.
was.
Come
I just
on.
made it. I got
Huh?
a 79 out of an 80 Constitution.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right. As you pull it, the all the gases from the decomposition in between the bodies in the grave kind of gets released, and you start running backwards with it. And Oak Tree, they hit you pretty good too. Why don't you make a good old Constitution roll?
Not to mention, what would have happened if we had the fire going when those gases came out?
Oh yeah.
Wow. So Oak Tree has a Constitution of 80, and I rolled a 1.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That sounds about right.
So-
Sounds like you're upwind. The wind's blowing away from you. It's just carrying it. You don't even you just keep on trucking along. Maybe you've lost your sense of smell even.
Actually, with the mauling, maybe, yeah, my nose is all tore up.
I leave the one corpse in the path and then run back to Oak Tree to see if there's something else I can grab. At this point, I'm kind of whatever.
Actually, I would have to say
I'm bitten up.
Yeah, the one I would have to say the one for Oak Tree is his single-mindedness. His single-mindedness is that these folks would need a proper burial, and the whole thing of stench and death and everything is secondary. He just gets minded that way, and that these folks need to be tended to correctly. And so he's with Bo, and he pushes forward and makes sure that you take globs of dirt and fling it away that has ants in it. Fling it off into the grass so that they're even more dispersed, and that'll hopefully clear out the ants. And I said, Mr. Bo, I think we're making headway into here where we can pull more of these folks out and do a proper burial for them. It seems like there's some good folk in here. That didn't deserve what happened.
Is there someone else in there?
Yes. And so as you were pulling that body away, Oak Tree quickly kind of glimpsed, but there's some smaller bodies and appears to be at least more than one.
And I said, now, Mr. Bo, we have to do this now. I see some smaller, there's children in there with this here person. So we can't leave this. This is something we have to do.
Yep. I agree with you.
We can get a couple of our friends to help. We need to dig proper grave around here before we can do anything else.
So
why are you smiling, Phil? These are non-edible bodies. They're rotten.
Well, that was a question I had. How old are these bodies?
Come on.
No,
Did you salt tack, Philip?
Florence, do you remember the people that you saw on the train? Remember the women and children? I'm wondering if you might recognize the clothing or anything about them.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to check, wouldn't it, there, Keeper?
Spot hidden, Florence?
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. We can do that. I got it.
Yeah, you didn't want to make it. Make a sanity roll?
Oh, I was waiting for that.
Did not get it. Not at
Yeah,
all.
no, that's not good. Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
You can take off 3 points of sanity as the very vivid memory of this woman and her children who were behind the man who was yelling at you. This really, like, you make this connection like lightning fast. It brings you to your knees. You remember her talking to her kids and being really kind with them.
Oak Tree
And
quickly goes over to Miss Florence because that's his connection to the group, and he sees she's upset and drops his shovel and goes, Miss Florence, you're upset? Did you? And he says, did you know these people? Seems like you did.
I don't know them, but I'm sure they were on the train with me, with Yaker, when we traveled to Deadwood. And this man, I wonder if he killed them. I could have helped. I could have done something, and I just let them go.
I said, ma'am, can you be more clear and tell me what happened? You said someone took him off the train and did this to him in this field, and you saw him?
No, I just, this man, he was so, he just seemed violent. He was rude and he was abrupt and he threatened my life. And he left the train with many women and many children, but these were sitting with him.
Well, ma'am, Miss Florence, if you saw this man's face again, would you recollect it and come back to you?
I would never forget this man's face.
I think I just found a purpose here why I might be in this town, is to find that man, because this thing he's done here is terrible wrong. And Florence, if we can find this man, he needs to pay for this real bad.
He held a gun to my head, he stared into my eyes, and he threatened my life.
Miss Florence, that just won't do right there. So he has two things he's done that will do him in. So I'd like to meet this fellow for you and set things straight.
Now, how far did we travel from the train before we found this mound?
And it didn't seem that far.
So
yeah, it hasn't been very
so
far at all.
whatever happened
Pretty
quickly
much right
then,
away.
right?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at the clothes. Are they riddled with bullet holes, or is that apparent? Skulls, anything of that nature with a hole? Bullet holes become obvious sometimes.
Are you examining them?
Take a quick look at him. Now that Oak Tree's heard this, he goes back to the body of the one with the rotting dress, and the hair's still there. So that shows it should be intact enough to hopefully see if there's a bullet hole.
Yeah, so you start examining the body, and there was a lot of dirt left on him because Bo kind of pulled him out so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And as you dust off all the dirt, you realize that the front of the dress is all bloodstained around the abdomen, and you've been around enough to realize that the abdomen is an exit wound for a bullet.
Oh, shot in the back. Wow.
Has Philip been around here?
God damn. No. Oh my God.
Really?
It is kind of your MO.
What if he killed her for speaking to me?
It's a bit, the confusion I have is there's many footprints I've been tracking along here. So a lot of people have walked this wagon trail, but these are the only ones that we found buried off on the side of the trail. So yeah, something must have happened.
So far, we haven't
that fella up.
We haven't been too far down the road. We may find more just like it.
We just started down the path. We could find many more of these.
And you're like a quarter of a mile, half a mile down the path.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I was going to say, Chris, doesn't your character have that funky stone?
Yeah, he tried the funky stone. It didn't pick up anything.
Oh, you did try it. I was wondering.
Yeah, it doesn't just pick up, murders. It has to be like a large massacre or.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it also could be that they weren't killed right here. I mean, they could have been killed like right by the train and dragged here, or
Well,
what are you going to do about these here bodies? You want to? I think we should bury them, but Mr. Yacker.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yacker's really good at burying things. It's a good thing we got him. Oh, right.
Let me just help.
No,
let me just help.
I just
so,
mean,
are we in the? If we're sort of in the mountainy area, then probably the best you could do is a cairn, right?
No,
because...
You're on the plains. The plateaued mountains are off in the distance.
Yeah. Well, let's get to digging.
Yeah.
I mean, just as long as it's deeper than the shallow grave where they was dumped.
Yeah, we got to put them down enough where we'll be able to give them a nice blanket of dirt.
And we got to take them out of the hole they're in, because that hole's wicked.
Okay, I already took one. While you guys are doing that, I took one of the kids.
Yeah.
Out.
So, is they're talking? I'm going to grab a shovel and go off, sort of pick a nice out of the way.
Yeah,
sort of space.
You don't grab a shovel. You keep watching the horizon for anybody coming. And Florence, you two, and Philip and I'll grab some shovels.
My job here.
That's right. Yeah, Philip and I'll grab some shovels.
And we don't have to dig separate graves. I mean, they were. I hope this ain't crass. They're a family. They can be buried together in the arms of their mother.
Yeah. So Bo, you and Oak Tree continue. Make sure there's nobody else in there, and Philip and will dig over here.
Yeah. Shovels. That's the ticket.
Okay. Everybody make a luck roll and give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you make it.
I'm rolling hot tonight.
Luck. Woo! I really made it.
All right, cool. Wow, that's amazing. You all made your luck roll. Good. I got y'all to burn those rolls up.
I should probably open up my character sheet though, just to make sure. But those are pretty good rolls. Pretty confident.
It's okay. With those kinds of numbers, it wouldn't matter if you made it or not. All right. Okay, y'all keep telling me what's going on here.
Well,
to determine how expedient this process is.
So, Oak Tree gets to clearing out, like the ants dissipate real fast. You know, he's pretty big and could kick the dirt away pretty good and get things pulled out, and quick wants to make note of how many folk are in there.
They've already got a mother and one child out.
Yeah, and there's one more child in there.
And that's it? Just the three?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I said, well, that mound was awful big. I thought there could have been a whole bunch more in there, Mr. Bo, but looks like it's just these three. So this shouldn't take too long to get them done and put down in the ground in a proper way. We can have a moment. A
lot of why it was so big is because it was such a shallow grave to get everybody in there.
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll Oak Tree, he'll just his single-mindedness will set to help dig in the holes that they're going to be turned into, and get just as if you can find a couple stones or something that we could put at the head, that'll be a proper thing to do, that they're at least remembered where they are, and we could tell anyone in town if anyone's been missing.
Oh yeah, I'll quickly look for any kind of identifying scratch that might be left.
Make a spot hidden.
100.
Oh wow!
That's a great place to roll 100. What could possibly? I was just looking over dead bodies.
Chris, how many times?
Possibly go wrong.
Oh yeah, one of them had.
Don't.
One of them had cholera, and I licked my finger.
Do you really want to give him any ideas?
Yeah. Don't give him ideas. But Chris, I critically failed on spot hidden rolls a few times, and some pretty horrible shit happened.
Oh really?
Yeah, remember the mutant groundhogs?
Here comes the Oregon Trail.
We'll see what happens.
So you're examining the body, and as you're rifling through, there's no sort of documentation whatsoever, except it was easy to miss, but a pretty angry, half-eaten rattlesnake jumps out and gets covered in ants and gets you right on the hand.
Oh, I have gloves on my hand. Maybe somewhere else.
Oh, I could go through gloves,
Really?
right?
Through heavy
Yeah.
leather gloves?
I would think so.
You ruined my goddamn gloves, you bastard. Oh, I'm bit.
How quickly, if I'm nearby, I go over and I with the shovel, quickly you chop that snake in half with the shovel right down in the middle. And make it.
I thought you were going to say you chop his hand off so the poison doesn't go in.
Now what I
don't know
need
why
is
give me a
I
dex
don't
roll
recommend
for how well you chop that snake's head off.
All right, I'm gonna chop that snake off, and I got a pretty good dex of 60, and I rolled a 42.
All right, so you quickly separate the snake's head from its body, and its tail and rattle are kind of wriggling in the dirt and spinning, and Bo is holding his hand and cursing up a storm.
And
I've got a good survival skill, so I know enough to slice open the 2 bite marks and suck out the blood and poison.
That's really how you do it.
I don't know enough.
That totally works.
I don't know enough to sterilize my knife.
Well,
So
first
we'll see what
so actually,
Give me a survival roll, Bo.
yeah, you go
Okay.
first.
Oh, 48 out of 50.
All right, so you're trying to bleed the wound out, and your hand's swelling pretty
And I'm
rapidly.
sucking.
Yep.
And Oak Tree will do his quick first aid because he's pretty good with the first aid.
Okay.
I'll get a shot with that.
What are you doing, Oak Tree? Besides saying you're doing first aid.
Oh, I was gonna say, gonna take a look at it and just see if there is anything to do with it, and try to get the blood and everything, make sure it's cleaned out, because he was doing it real fast. Make sure there's no dirt that was on the corpse in the cut. Like, he was moving pretty fast.
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
I
that
got
all
corpse
cleaned up.
dirt all over me.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just wanted to do that, make sure it's clean, but I rolled a 69 and did not get my roll. So
Pretty clean.
This is gonna bode really well for the group.
another arm.
Another arm bites the dust.
Yeah. Hey, we'll just hold on to this court. I'm just gonna write a little keeper note here because keeper notes are fun. And this one says corpse dirt snake bite.
So I guess Harold can build another half cock.
Yacker might have to build something over this one.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to leave this up to Rick to describe, over a course of time, what the symptoms would be.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, well, I've got that bag of anti-venom that I said I brought with me.
Oh, I remember that distinctly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we were listing out items, that was definitely one of them.
Yep, right next to the mini fridge that plugs into the cigarette lighter of the wagon, right?
Yes, exactly.
Keep it all
That's
at
the
right
one.
temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice.
I'm Yakker's contemplating this over a nice bottle of kombucha.
Wonderful.
Harold drank it.
All right.
No, stupid kids.
Oh man. So I got Mr. Bo over to the wagon and set him in there. I said, Mr. Bo, you need to settle on in here, and I'll take care of the rest of the digging and the burying.
Okay, I think I got it took care of, but it was starting to swell a little bit. I'll keep an eye on it. Ooh, hurts.
As far as I can
I need
tell,
some more of that whiskey.
Hey, isn't Rick? Isn't Philip kind of formally trained in medicine? Hey, Philip, do you think you could take a look at this hand here?
Oh boy.
It seems bad.
with a mouthful of salt tack.
Yep, it might, Phil, it might need to be debrided.
No, don't do that.
God. Oh God.
Don't tease him, Bo.
Yeah.
Oh, wait! Before Philip starts on his snack description, Bo, I need you to roll a D10.
10. Okay. 8.
Cool. That wasn't one you wanted a big number on. All right. All right. For now, take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
For now,
yeah. Depending upon
as the burning. I mean, there's a lot of burning going on in your hand, and tingling, and certainly you're already starting to see some swelling, and stiffening in the wrist.
I don't think I got all the poison out. Ooh, this ain't feeling nor looking too good.
Yeah, you want me to take a look?
Sure.
All right. So what?
This is where the episode goes awry.
What you do here?
Well, got bit by a rattlesnake.
I
cut it open, 2 X's with my knife, and I sucked the poison out.
Pretty good.
Best I could.
Good. Yeah.
And then, it still hurts, and it's starting to swell up a bit.
Do you put a tourniquet on it?
What the hell's a tourniquet?
Oh, damn it. Somebody give me some sort of cloth.
Did you put some corpse dirt on it? I heard that's helpful.
Harold will toss you a leather strap.
Okay, so I'll take a leather strap. I'll do a little tourniquet in front of the, on the arm there above where the site is, and I'll say I need one of a couple things. I either need gunpowder or I need gunpowder.
I got a stick of dynamite. That's
gunpowder, salt, and the yellow of an egg. Your choice.
Hey, yeah, we definitely have some gunpowder. We can pop open a couple bullets and give you some gunpowder.
We got the gunpowder.
I think I brought a couple chickens in the wagon. I'll get one of those. See if it's been laying.
Squeeze it.
Yeah, I mean, you let me know what you would like to do. This is an old traditional method that comes from California. It's the fanciest of the fanciest out west in medicine. You make a little bit of a plaster out of the gunpowder, the salt, and the egg, and you put it on, and you cross your fingers, and you hope you have fingers to cross. Actually, is probably the better way to put it by the end of it.
So
alternatively,
you can have one of those 3 things. You can have the gunpowder, but not the other.
We
2.
don't have.
Probably have salt.
Oh, I probably do have salt in my pack of things that I usually bring.
Oh, the food, pack. Yeah.
Actually, if anyone was going to bring eggs, it would be you because you bring so much food wherever you go.
This is a fair point. Let me see my amazingly large and vast pack of goods and supplies.
The old larder.
They would have to be pickled eggs, otherwise they wouldn't travel well.
Eggs can actually keep a surprisingly long time at room temperature.
Yeah,
no, I
they
meant
break.
Like the Jocelyn and.
Well, I just need, if they're scrambled, who cares? But so keeper, do I have an egg?
You have an egg?
Egg?
An egg.
No, an egg.
Hey, this isn't an egg. He needs an egg.
I'm gonna guess no is the answer.
Yeah. You know what? I tell you what, Philip. You give me an extreme success on your luck roll, and you can have yourself an egg.
Well, an 81 doesn't do it, so I do not have an egg. So I'll just take the last I'll ask is anybody have kerosene? Do we have any kerosene?
Kerosene, I'll give you. That would seem like a staple item.
Right. So I'll ask you, would you prefer me to put gunpowder on and light it, or put kerosene on and change it a couple of times?
He'd probably prefer that you do something before the anaphylactic shock starts.
Yeah, kerosene. What does the gunpowder do?
It helps cauterize and you neutralize the toxins.
How does it's in my blood? I can see it. Take a look at my veins there. I can see it kind of starting to crawl up.
Oh yeah, and his fingers are getting all purple and kind of rigid. And
I'm a doctor, not a phlebotomist. So Well, your options are we try this or we have to temporarily remove the hand. That would be
temporarily. Oh my god!
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
So we had vampire. Now we have Frankenstein.
Listen, he doesn't know that it can't necessarily go back. This is just what we do.
Oh, yeah, bedside manner.
Delivered as an aside for those not watching the video.
So that Bo can't hear.
Yeah,
Okay,
I stepped 5 feet away from Bo and I told the group, and then I stepped back over to Bo.
Well, let's just say, as long as I'm conscious, I don't want you cutting off my hand, but I don't know how much longer.
Okay.
I'm gonna be conscious.
Oh yeah, oh boy. Well,
oh no.
And I'm having a hard time.
Anyway.
I'm having a hard time breathing.
Who's got a knife? I just need a knife.
Anaphylactic shock.
We got plenty of knives.
There are knives.
We do, because otherwise I'll go at it with my teeth. I don't care. I mean, I will just dive
Salt tack.
chew my way through.
Philip, I'm handing you my Bowie knife.
Okay, so I'll go with the Bowie knife, and I'll look at where sort of the poison is, and go a couple inches higher than it, and
oh my god!
What? Where's the poison at, Keeper?
Yeah, he's saving my life.
The snake's got him like probably just right in the top of the hand there. And so it's, everything's kind of swelling, and the poison's definitely, pushing back towards the heart, up the arm.
Yeah.
Hey, Philip, I just want to say you've come a long way since being locked in a closet. Just saying.
Thank you.
To being a indispensable member.
An hour later.
So, Yakker's asking Philip, hey, without a saw, don't you got to take it off at the elbow?
Yeah.
How are you going to cut through? How are you going to cut through the middle of his arm?
The wrist.
It's already going up the arm.
He just said
the
it's
force
past
of
the
the
wrist.
blood bleeding out of the arm. Push all the poison out.
Wow.
I don't know if that's how that works. Anyways, you're passed out.
I know, I'm passed out.
So I'm gonna move the tourniquet up to the arm, and I'm gonna try one thing first, and I'm gonna start flaying open the muscles.
Oh, come on!
And as you do, blood starts, racing out of the hand.
God.
And because I'm worried about what we call compartment syndrome, where it's the swelling compresses the nerves and the blood vessels. So you want to relieve that pressure. So I'm just going down the lengths of the fingers and the hands, and I'm trying to open up the muscle bellies. And I'm like, this is a last ditch attempt, and I need water, alcohol, anything you guys got. And I'm using the Banshee's bitch, and I'm dumping the flayed hand in it, and you got all the meaty bits and going around.
Oh man.
Jesus.
You're totally gonna drink that afterwards, aren't you?
How does it look, Keith?
Can you roll in the 90s on your medical check? That would just make this perfect.
Not 90.
But it ain't good.
I got a 50. It's a regular success.
Okay. So I mean, there's blood gushing out of all the fingers now, and covering in the dirt, and Bo is moaning in and out of conscious, and Bo's a pretty tough cookie, but this is some pretty painful shit. Keep going, Phil.
Okay, well, that didn't work.
Or don't.
What's going on?
Oak tree, hold Bo down. And actually, Harold,
give me something to bite on before I bite my tongue off.
Yeah, I'll give you another hunk of leather.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm going to put some hardtack in your mouth.
No, that's for Philip.
Fucking piece of shit.
On the arm, and I go right into that elbow joint, and I pop it like a chicken's wing.
God damn it.
Sweet Jesus, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Oh no.
Now what I
could have been watching TV.
At disadvantage, Bo.
Make a what?
Constitution roll at disadvantage.
Oh boy. Made the first one. Extreme success on the second, so I did make it.
Okay. Actually, maybe it's probably in your best interest. Then you pass out.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think it'd probably be
Mhm.
it'd be worse to keep you awake through the rest
Yep.
of this.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So Bo goes limp in your arms, Oak Tree, and Philip, what are you doing?
Well, now that I popped that out of the joint, I want to make sure I got enough skin, good skin, to cover up the flap so he's got a nice nub. I don't
Yeah. A nice, yeah.
Right, and you want a little muscle belly, right? So I look for some nice, healthy muscle and tissue, and I kind of cut around that, and I use that to sort of flap it over the remains of the arm, and then
you could have been a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, and then I had.
You got some duct tape around? Now what?
This is the part I actually forgot that I actually need before we started, which is, does anybody have a needle and some thread? That would be.
Actually, interestingly enough, I was I brought supplies to make Yakker's half cock.
Yeah.
So yes, I do.
Okay, and on that note, we're gonna take a little break.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, Bill can commence with the sewing.
I think a more accurate statement is if we come back.
Yeah,
I want to say this group.
Nobody's having any
group only
snacks.
has 12 arms, and 2 of them are gone already. At this rate, there'll be no arms left.
And
by
then we have to figure out whether it's my dominant arm or not.
Mm.
At this rate, we're just gonna call this game the slow and the armless.
Oh my God, that's great. All right, everybody, take 5 minutes. We'll be back in a few. Okay, we're back from break. That was gross. Michael, I hope we go in a slightly different direction.
I just want this on the record that I had nothing to do with the removal of Bo's arm.
You did start the process, though.
That's true. With a snake bite.
Yeah, I mean, where else were we going with that?
He rolled 100. It was either that or like some giant monster emerges from the floor of the desert and eats you all. So
That's true.
Your choice.
Yeah.
It could have eaten your leg or bit your leg.
Yeah, I could tell that my sucking the poison out didn't work. It was, in my mind, it was going to kill me. So I'm not going to be crying over a lost limb.
All right.
I know how you feel.
So Philip, you've got your needle and thread. Get to sewing.
Yeah. So I'll be dipping it in a fresh batch of Banshee's bitch before I get going, and slashing that a bit on the whole area just to kind of clean it up, and then I'll just start going through.
Oh, that stings.
Yeah, gonna sting a bit. It's a bitch.
Hurts, don't it?
Yeah. Is there how am I doing?
Well, I'm kind of imagining, when you get a package and instead of the flaps kind of meeting at the middle, nice and perfect, one of them's a bit long, and so it just folds over like that, and then just sewing around the edges. So you've got one natural kind of seam on the edge here, and then you've got 3 sides of stitching. On the whole, though, given the circumstances and what you have to work with, it looks like a shark bite happened.
Perfect.
Pack it with corpse dirt to keep it, safe.
And the hand itself.
Oh,
God.
Tasty.
Nope.
As soon as that drops off,
I feel like chili tonight.
It's full of poison.
As soon as you do that, I am picking it up off the ground as Philip is busy, and I'm bringing it over to Florence and asking Florence what to do.
Bury it. Bury it.
No.
Yes.
Use that as poison. Use it as poisoned bait.
No.
What are we baiting?
The only thing we'd catch is you.
In the future. Something in the future. There's those giant bat things. I mean, we could use a poisoned arm.
We
Right?
should bury it with the bodies before Bo wakes up so he doesn't have to see his own arm separated from his body.
All right, I'm bringing it over and I'm putting it in the bodies and I'm sort of going to tuck it under so that it's not visible at all.
Wow. So in the afterlife, it's going to be this poor woman and her kids and a fucking severed arm.
The hand.
Bobby, can you make the arm go away? Sorry, I don't know what happened.
So that'll be an archaeological dig someday, and people just be perplexed.
That's actually how it's gonna get resurrected when the Addams family digs it up. It'll be.
Don't give them ideas.
All right, so
and then, while this is happening, assuming they've already dug down enough, I'm gonna start helping with digging the grave and filling it in and all that.
okay.
And then once we're done with that, actually before that, I carry Mr. Bo over to the wagon and we get him all comfortable in the back of that wagon, laying down, because we had enough space back there and move a few of the barrels around, because we had fresh water, remember? We brought a barrel of water.
Yep.
Make sure to clean his arm off and freshen him up.
All right, so y'all are doing all this. What do you do with the body of the snake?
And chopped in
It
half.
could stay.
Did you say it was a zombie snake? Like it was already half
No,
eaten or
it
something?
was just eaten by the fire ants, I think.
Yeah, the fire ants. It was writhing from being like eaten at by the fire ants.
Just wanted to make sure it wasn't some otherworldly abomination.
I mean, it was, in some ways it was kind of abominable that you got sprung on by this ant covered
Half-dead,
snake. It
yeah.
was pretty gross. It was just your shitty luck. That 100 that gave that snake enough life.
That was shit.
Actually,
to
what I'm
bite
going to
you.
do is I'm going over to the snake, and with the shovel, I'm going to lop off with the spade the rattle of the snake. And I'm going to bring it over and keep it on the wagon to give to Mr. Bo. I had a sense that Mr. Bo,
once we dry it off, I bet we could tie it on the necklace with the stone.
He might wear it as a necklace. I could see that.
I was going to plug it into his stump, but I guess that works.
Wow.
Oh, God. Well, we should move on.
Seriously damaged.
Okay. Yes. This little incident has tacked on a couple of hours to what had progressed as a unanimous good luck roll and was going to be a little hour of digging, has now put you quite into the throes of sunset.
Oh, that's great.
So be it. Well, we should head over to the hills, and if we can get in the shelter of some of those hills there, that'll be best for the night instead of sitting here open prairie.
You know that those hills are well beyond the amount of light that you have left for the evening.
Oh, okay.
Open prairie it is.
Well, I don't know. Would it be safer trying to get to the hills if it means a little bit of after dark travel?
Well, you don't want to travel after night with the horses pulling because they can step in a hole.
Oh, that's true.
Break your leg. You got to stop. You don't
Yeah.
with horses.
And I'd rather hobble the horses and just set up maybe close to where we are and get a fire going.
Yeah, next to the fire ants and the dead bodies and the
Yeah,
lot.
no,
we're gonna move quite a ways away from there.
Yeah, we head towards the hills for a while more till the sun goes down, and travel is impractical, I would have to say.
Okay, so that gives you that puts you, a good couple of miles at least from the pulling the wagon and trying to keep Bo comfortable. You're not exactly going at a very fast pace. But you do make it a couple of miles, and then before you'd probably call it a night.
Okay, we settle in with our wagon, around our wagon, and keep Bo in the wagon, and we could put we got any canvas or anything put over him, and then anyone else for a little shelter, you go underneath the wagon, and then.
Since it's evening, I'm taking my medicine.
Very good.
Hey.
Oh, give some to Bo.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
All
He
right.
says.
And then Oak Tree will sit on the top of the wagon, and he'll stay awake to keep an eye on things, because we have
Yeah, we can take shifts.
have to do that.
Yeah, we can take shifts. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll take a watch.
Okay.
Wait, what did you eat that the kitty is so
He does that all the time.
fascinated with your mouth?
Oh,
He's always done
It's a
that.
good thing we had a content warning on this thing.
Right.
He'll do little kids. He's just a weirdo.
All right. So y'all are bedding down for the evening, and there's really no shelter to speak of except for the wagon itself and the horses. Bo, after losing some blood and your arm, go ahead and take off another 4 points of health. Where does that leave you?
Oh, pretty. Let's see. That leaves me at 9.
You still have more health than Florence.
He don't
Well,
look as good as you though,
Yeah,
Florence.
I started out with 15.
All right. And as you kind of lay there in the open, staring out at the sky, there's a shooting
me?
star. No, just in general, y'all as the group. Is there anything y'all want to do? Are y'all making a fire? Are you doing anything like that?
I'm thinking we should probably
let's
not
make a-
make a fire.
Not make a fire unless we absolutely need it.
Yeah. So eat,
Okay.
drink,
either a hardtack.
We got an arm.
put up some sort of shelter. We got a little bit of canvas we can cover Bo up with, and maybe
Yeah,
a
we
little
brought
lean-to.
tents, if you recall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did.
And the wagon
Yeah,
itself
we
is
brought
enclosed.
stuff. Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
I'll be sleeping up on the wagon.
And Oak Tree's got watch, and so I guess maybe as Oak Tree looks yonder off into the distance, there's the occasional shooting star through the sky, and you can't help but have a kind of knotted feeling in your stomach that this isn't the best start to your trip out into the desert. You lived a lot of years without a snake biting you, and you find it very strange that that would happen out here, especially in such a ant-ridden corpse. It's quite an odd place to find a snake. It seems like a really poor turn of circumstances for you. And sitting there, you're not sure, but you think you hear the train off in the distance. It would be a little bit faint, but
What time of night would this be? Like really deep into the night for a train?
yeah, it would be late for a train for sure. You can't be positive, but you think it might have been. And does anybody else take watch for Oak Tree over
Oh
there?
yeah,
we're
I'm gonna
not
wake up
gonna-
so Oak Tree can sleep.
Yeah, I'll take a watch too.
Okay.
We want people to get a proper night's sleep.
And so otherwise the night passes rather uneventfully. You do wake up in the morning to Bo moaning quite extensively. He's pale, he's sweating profusely, and just audible kind of
Ooh, sounds like he's turning into a zombie.
yeah.
That's what happens when you get bit by a zombie snake.
It's true.
And where the stitching is around there, it's really puffy and red, and
Which hand is it?
Now it bit me when I was doing what?
you were searching. I'm afraid this might be a dominant hand issue, because you were searching her clothes to find out if she had any identification.
No, actually, it would have been both hands.
That's true. All right,
Yeah.
we'll do this. Even it's dominant, but was Bo right-handed or left-handed?
Bo was left-handed.
All right, so even it's a left hand, and odd it's a right hand.
Okay. 2 is even.
Oh, all right. So there went that left hand.
Well, thankfully, I'm also a shotgun user. So
yeah, I was gonna say you'd strike me as somebody who would be fairly decent with both hands. But all right.
I won't be writing my memoir anytime soon.
Or you might be, or somebody else might be.
Oh boy. All right.
Wow, this was pretty quick. Was this our fastest day in
I was
Bloodstone?
just looking back through the notes. Definitely the fastest day. This is only the 3rd week that we've been in day 4, and now we're in day 5.
Only the 3rd
Wow.
week. Day 4.
All right. So the sun breaks over the horizon, and you don't get newspaper delivery out this far, so you don't have any Mr. Martin Hale to look forward to, but you have a quite ill Bo, and you have miles to travel today.
Okay, I say to Miss Florence and Mr. Harold and the crew here, and with Mr. Bo there. I said, with Mr. Bo not doing so well there, should we strike out towards those hills and where you all wanted to go, or do we need to turn around and get him back to town for some good tending? I hear you got some good doctors there in town.
Yeah, I don't think we want to take him back to Bloodstone. If we were going to take him anywhere, it would be what's the name of that other town there? Deadwood. We want to take him to Deadwood.
Well, let's have.
But that has its own challenges, as we discussed ad nauseum there yesterday. All
right, I'm gonna take a look at Mr. Bo myself with my rudimentary first aid knowledge to see if he, if there's something strikingly bad, and I'll just go with that, which I don't make the roll, so he looks fine to me. And I say to Mr. Phillip, and I said, Mr. Phillip, you did the work on him, and hopefully Mr. Phillip's awake and not drunk on Banshee Bitch. Mr. Phillip, you look at Mr. Bo here and your handiwork to see if he's good enough to travel with us, or is that going to kill him?
Just keep his feet up on the horse. He'll be fine.
As he licks his chops.
It's quite an evaluation there.
Well, we'll take him to go.
Oh God.
Oh wow. Would you mind just putting some of this garlic lotion on?
Then I'll ask Mr. Bo. Mr. Bo, and I said, you're all sweaty and bad, and your hand's gone. I don't know if you even slept a wink or where you were, but
my hand's gone. What the hell are you talking about?
Mr. Bo,
where'd my hand go?
You got bit by a snake, and Mr. Phillip
bit my hand off.
He was all swelled up, and it started going up your arm. And Mr. Phillip here, his doctor, and he had to take your arm off, and to
my
save
arm. What the hell?
A second ago, it was just your hand.
How about it was my hand?
Just save your life.
Telling me my head's missing.
It's up to your elbow. Wasn't it up to your elbow? Is that what you did? Didn't you say it like
Yeah,
a
on
bone
the
in
right
elbow?
side of your body.
So I said, yeah, up to your forearm and down on your left side is Mr. Phillip had to take it off to save your life. You were done for.
Well, geez, I ain't gonna be much use to y'all in this condition.
Well, Mr. Harold's got some big things that can fix you. But if you're feeling good enough, we can move on. Or if you need to go back to town, we could press on that way and settle you in somewhere. Whatever you think is the best, Mr. Bo. I think
there's nothing back in Bloodwood that's gonna make me feel any better. Except, there's just that butcher, Red or whatever the hell his name is.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Bo,
don't go to him, Bo. He'll do more harm than good on you.
And I actually tell him, I said, Mr. Bo, when I got mauled by that bear and was lying in the woods, and there was no one to tend to me, and I made it through. I think you're made of pretty tough stuff, and a simple little hand and low arm coming off ain't gonna kill you.
Well, I come back from the dead once, but that was with the help of the Arapaho people, and they treated me with all manner of natural medications that I'm not savvy about.
Well, you have
one of
Mr.
them was
Phillip.
supposed to stop infection.
You have Mr. Phillip here, who has all types of unnatural medications, and to tend to you. Do you feel like we can move on under the watchful eye of Mr. Phillip? He could.
I'm just feeling a little feverish, but that's to be expected. I mean, I don't feel like I'm on death's door just at this moment.
All right, you're the one who makes the call on whether we move on or we turn around.
No, let's keep going. I just, like I say, I won't be able to help you out as a guide, nor with a gun.
All right, and if you don't make it, we'll bury you real good. We promise to do that.
Okay.
But of course you will make it. And we'll get you back to town, and maybe Sage can look at you. You know, she also has quite a hand for the natural remedies.
Don't say hand. I wouldn't.
Oh, wow.
Ixnay.
Now how?
Yeah,
I'll stay with you because I don't want to be no trouble doubling
right,
back to
now,
town.
Mr. Bo, you were the one out front doing the tracking.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't be doing that. So which one of us is going to be able? I can do that a little bit. So I'll be happy to go up front, but I can't do that on a horse. I'll have to walk. It's going to make us real slow.
That's just as well with me, because the faster you go, the more jostled I'm going to get.
Yeah, and the wagon doesn't go too fast. As long as we're forewarned, we'll be forearmed. Oh wait.
Oh man. We're between the two of us, we're only two armed.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect timing. By the way, Keeper, I take my morning medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, check you out remembering that.
Yeah, like I'm gonna give him that opportunity.
If only you could remember your what's the weapon that you keep forgetting in D&D? The lightning thing? Lightning javelin.
I remember it.
Javelin of lightning.
Eventually.
Right. Yes.
All right, Michael, what'd you say? Make a what?
Make a I guess a spot hidden will work. Do you have that?
I don't know what that means.
A spot hidden roll?
Under S for spot.
Yeah, I've got it.
Jesus.
Yep, I did I got a 7.
It. I rolled the dice. I did it.
I got a 7 out of 41.
Oh wow.
So that's my lowest one would have been an 8, so I got an extreme.
You feel really good. In fact, you're kind of thinking out as you take this pill in the morning, and you haven't felt this good in years, right? You actually you can't remember when you felt this good. Maybe as a child.
Do I get some hit points back?
Oh, yeah. How many are you down?
I'm down. I was at 24 and I'm down to 10.
Yeah. So go 24. Ahead.
Holy
yeah.
Shit.
I was at 22. Yeah, I had really high hit points. I've been getting my ass kicked.
And give yourself 8 points back.
Whoa.
Nice.
Should we all be taking this medicine?
Right.
Well, I think it's the lava that he drank more than the medicine.
Oh,
and
well, who knows what's in the medicine?
And you decide to take a minute and kind of like inspect your armhole, and
yeah, I think I said I brought like the bandages so that I could change it if need be.
Yeah, and it's still scabbed, but
wait, what hole are you talking about?
the flesh, you can already see flesh like regrowing underneath it, and even you recognize that this is quite quick, and that you seem to be recovering unnaturally fast.
Yeah, arms don't usually grow back nearly that quick.
Most of the time, not at all.
This
Most
here
of the
is
time.
a miracle. I'm telling you, those doctors in Deadwood know their business. I just can't believe it. I'm going to go there and thank them, even if I have to shoot up the whole town to do it, because I'm amazed at how effective this stuff is.
Oh, maybe you can bring me to Deadwood then. I'd love to grow my arm back.
I think that's a dang good idea. I say we forget this and we go to Deadwood and we find them doctors and say thank you and maybe get some more of this medicine.
I'm a little skeptical. Putting that out there.
Is Rick skeptical or is Phil skeptical?
It's a mutual skepticism about Sir Gecko Arm Yacker over here.
I'm gonna be like,
No, wait. There's no arm regrowing. Just to be clear here, there's the skin over where they did the surgery is starting to like.
He's healing up good.
But I think the surgery happened like 2 days ago.
2.5 to be exact. Yes.
So it should not be healing.
In game time, you'd actually have a new arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Electric cars were invented in game time.
Yeah.
All right. So do we pack up and get moving back to the on our trail?
Yep.
If we can convince Yacker to continue instead of running off to Deadwood.
I'll keep going if we got it. But when we're done, I want to go to Deadwood and thank them doctors and maybe get the same thing for my friend Bo here because he deserves an arm just like I. Or at least
then maybe we can also get Rose, who is definitely alive in Deadwood.
I think it's a great idea.
And hopefully has both her arms.
So we got a wagon to throw her into.
Oh, Keeper. You're an ass.
Uh-oh. There's another arm going. So much for Florence baking. You got to bake with one arm.
I like metaphorically chopping up the group into little tiny pieces.
Mm-hmm. Great.
The world's slowest TPK ever.
This is not metaphorically, however.
No, it's true. I think of y'all kind of like ingredients on a sushi bar, and it's like, oh, we'll use a little Yacker for this roll, and like, maybe a little Bo for this roll.
Well, actually, I guess Oak Tree's been listening to the group because he doesn't know the history of the group and he's just been part of it. But he says, I hear you talking about moving on to the hills to see what was there, but you all found those people that were on the train that you were wondering about. You found them right here. They're dead, and I'm guessing up in the hills you're going to find a whole bunch more. If your friends here need to go to that town in Deadwood and Miss Florence, your sister, needs getting, we can go to town and get her.
Well, but the problem here, Mr. Oak Tree, is that we did make ourselves a commitment to try and save that little boy who got pulled away by them flying creatures.
And these people were only 3 of 30? More? There were so many people on the train.
It's true.
We don't know what happened to the rest of them.
That's fair.
That woman sitting behind me said she was going to the promised land.
Well, I understand that you can go either way on this trip. I was just seeing that some of your folk in this here group were thinking Deadwood is a good place, or keeping going forward is good. And I don't know. I say we give it to Mr. Bo. He's the one who lost the most just recently, and I'd say let him make the decision on where we go.
What? Who the hell are you? Who the hell are any of you? What the hell am I doing here?
All right, Miss Florence, I guess you get to make.
Yeah, I mean,
your sister.
This is the first time in quite some time we've actually made headway in a direction, and I'd hate to stop
That's
and turn to go for something else.
We finally were headed towards a destination.
Well,
although for what it's worth, we finally get headed towards a destination, and another one of us loses a limb.
I know, it's Call of fucking Cthulhu, man. That's to be expected. You can't avoid this sort of thing for the whole game.
Well, let's head forward then. So Oak Tree will start walking out ahead of the wagon, and who's driving the wagon now? Yocker?
Oh, I'm still driving it. Yeah.
Okay. And who? And I guess Florence and Harold are on horses, and Philip.
Yeah, I'll switch to horse.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And we got Bo nice and tucked in and comfortable in the back.
Oh, we
of
have
the
an
wagon.
extra horse. We have an extra horse now. We can tie to the wagon.
Yep.
And behind it. So okay. All right.
Off we go.
All right, and it takes a significant part of the day for those mountains, those plateaus to come into view.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're traveling well into the afternoon of the second day, and look how we're just speeding up
Man.
time. Aren't y'all amazed? Yeah.
And as we go, we're looking for mounds.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking for mountains and
passing right on by him.
And
Yeah.
footprints,
Oh.
making sure we still see footprints in the ground.
Okay, give me a spot hidden, Florence.
Okay. That's going to be fine. Oh, hey, it
Fucking
was
go.
fine. Regular success.
Okay. And you don't notice any mounds, but you notice a pile of, for lack of a better word, dung that's quite large. And
There a little
Maybe-
boy sticking out of it.
you notice it enough to call Oak Tree over.
I will
God damn,
call
Mo,
Oak
I'm
Tree
not that
over.
fucked up.
I just thought it was Cat. I thought this was another callback. Okay.
And as a Miss Florence, what did you find over here? Another mound of dead folk?
An oak tree, as you look, you inhale sharply because that there be bear dung.
Mmm. Ooh.
Oh, that's large in a different scale than I was thinking. That's not
Yeah.
as large as
Yeah, I was thinking large
You
winged.
were thinking mountain. I got you.
creature.
I was
Sure.
thinking like my backyard.
And
Yeah.
I said, oh, that's kind of curious. There's a.
You don't have to wait a minute. Just for the record, you don't have to call somebody over to see a mountain of shit. Like everybody's gonna see that, okay?
Fair enough.
There's no spot hidden for the mountain of cat shit that's been hoarded in the backyard.
But when you said like, I
Oh.
thought you were talking like
A mountain.
elephant.
Yeah, I thought I
Mhm.
immediately thought elephant. Yeah, and I was trying to come up with an analog in our game for something that big.
Yeah, I was sort of
Oh,
picturing caveman.
Such a great
In
reference.
the right in the middle of doing the dirty deed.
Did you remember Caveman the movie?
No,
Course.
I never saw. I never
Oh,
saw
wow.
Dave.
What?
Ringo, was it
Wow.
Ringo Starr?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I never saw that one. Does he
Yeah.
get pooped on by a
No,
dinosaur?
he goes. They're walking along, and there's like a puddle, like it's probably 4 feet wide, of shit. And there's a caveman conversation about what it's called.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'll have to watch that.
Hey, it's very old. I'm sure it is
I don't know if
horribly
it's funny
inappropriate at
anymore.
this point. Yeah, it was really funny when I was like 14.
I was going
Um,
to say at the time it was
Yeah,
comedic genius.
God, what was that like 60 years ago, Art?
yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, it's black and white. One of the early talkies.
Yep, they called them flickers.
It could have been a radio show. He's not even
Right?
sure now.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a play by that actual cavemen did.
All right. So Oak Tree, give me a little bit of a sanity roll as you see this pile of bear shit.
Okay.
Sanity.
Why?
I know, Phil, you got by with a sanity roll back there with the corpses, but there ain't much left in old Phil's head. So
I got a 20, and I have a
Okay.
sanity of 80. Actually, he's really saying.
Jesus
so made that
Christ.
really-
Wow.
that's
Oak
not
Tree.
very fun.
Oak Tree's level-headed.
Okay, we'll have to find some weakness for you.
Oh, don't worry, he's not too bright sometimes.
Okay. So you kind of steal yourself, but you point out however you want to, but that there be bears here.
And I said, folk, there's some bears here, but we're not really amongst thicker trees here. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering what they're Ones that are wandering
Desert
around and
bears. Those are weird ones.
No prairie bears.
Right? Yeah.
And I said, they kind of curious. So someone keep a good rifle handy. And Philip, I hear you're good at shooting things in the back.
Again, this should not be.
You shoot a couple people in the back.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a great doctor, but you shoot two people in the back, and you're Bill the back shooter.
Bill the cannibalistic back shooter.
Yeah.
So once that bear starts running, you make sure you shoot it good.
At least it makes your character like a little bit two-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
All right, now
that's
we
funny.
need to be on a watch for that as well, and then I guess that make Oak Tree a little bit jittery going forward with bears about, because that's not something that he's comfortable with.
Oak Tree, do you have your weapon a shotgun?
No, I got a sidearm. I'm more of a revolver guy, but I can use a rifle. I don't know. Actually, I don't have one on me. So if anyone has one, I can carry that up front too for shooting more long distance.
Use my shotgun. I ain't gonna be using it.
Okay, I'll carry that while I'm up front, and that'll be handy. So
Now, with a shotgun, the closer the thing is to you, the better chance you have of getting it.
Oh, actually, well, I said I do understand that, Mr. Bo. My profession actually is gunfighter, so I'm well versed in all.
Geez, I didn't know that. Oak Tree. Well, thanks. That's a revelation.
Bo, you continue to sweat out the afternoon, right? It's been several hours through the morning, and you've got the chills now. You're shaking pretty hard, and you lose another couple points of health.
Oh, I'm gonna be dead soon, people. I ain't feeling so good. I'm down to 7 health.
Y'all continue the plateau mountains seem to be they're getting tangibly closer, right? As you go on, you seem to be approaching them quicker and quicker. I need everybody but Bo give me a spot hidden. Actually, just give me a luck. That's probably better. Just everybody give me a luck. Come on, Yacker. Come on, Florence.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Wow,
what?
complete
What?
opposite of the last one.
Oh my God.
Fail.
Yacker, is that a fail for you? Wow.
It's
All
just
right.
Oak Tree.
Up
Oak
front.
Tree's the
So I
one
guess-
out front. So
I guess I noticed something up front and you guys didn't. I don't know.
No. So everybody, as the day kind of waned on, and you didn't really pay very good attention, you just got a little fatigued and thinking about Bo, and there was really nothing to pay attention to except for the bear poop back there. And you strayed off the trail a little bit, and it was hard to lose it was hard to keep up without your tracker, Bo. And the first thing that happens is there's a massive bam, and Florence, your horse just goes face down. And make a dexterity roll.
Oh no! Wait, you're killing my horse?
This
Really?
is gonna be a big trigger for Florence.
Nice. She's killing.
I actually got rolled really well for what it's worth. It's a medium success, strong success. I forget.
Sure. So that just simply means you almost
Hard success.
You do like a well-timed kind of somersault over the front of the horse. So you're okay. I don't know if horses scream. Do horses scream?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and so as your horse screams, Oak Tree, you're able to keep your horse kind of in check.
I don't
It
have a horse.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
walking.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I'm on foot.
Oh, this makes so much more sense. So you're watching in horror as the other horses bolt back, and you still don't know what's happened. And there's two more of these, like, well, let's see. Philip, are you in the wagon or are you on your own horse?
I'm driving the wagon.
And
my,
Philip,
my
okay.
horse is tied up to the back of the wagon. following.
Okay. And then all right. So the horse wagon jolts. Philip and Harold, your horses jump at the other ones squealing in this cloud, and it's like a series of really loud mouse traps and the sounds of cracking going off, right? Bam, bam. Everybody, Yaker, you don't need to make a dex roll, but
It's
Phil and
tremors.
Harold, you do. As they do, Oak Tree, you're wheeling around with your gun, thinking that you might be being attacked. That's your first kind of intuition, is that you're being shot at. But you're instinctively, you know, they're not gunshots.
And I said, I don't know what to say. I said, hey, everyone, Miss Florence fell off a horse. We got to go tend to her. And then I see everyone else is going bananas, and I start making my way over to Miss Florence.
I'm okay, I think.
And so the same thing, Philip and Harold, you kind of roll, your horses go down, but you roll off. But all of a sudden, as you do, your horses are essentially screaming, right? And as they lunge up, there's these huge metal bear traps on their hooves.
Oh,
that's cracked there right through the legs of your horses. Yaker, it's gotten one of the wagon horses, but not both. But it's created a mess, right? One of them's kind of lunging, and it's gonna kill the other if you don't act soon.
But I tell everyone, I said, everyone, don't step too quick or fast. You might step on one yourself. And
so I'm gonna try and jump down and get myself like calming the horse that's got the bear trap, and I'm trying to pull it away from the other horse.
Ooh, okay.
You can unhitch it. Try to unhitch it.
Yeah, I'll do that. But first, I'm just trying to see if I can even get it under control.
All right. All right. So you're one arm jumping down. Make a luck roll.
Oh my God.
No.
There goes a leg.
What is it?
Oh.
What is it?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Is 100 good?
What the fuck?
We're all doomed.
Oh my God.
I don't want to give this one to you, Michael.
Oh no.
Wow. You know, y'all hadn't given me anything in so many nights.
I'm sorry for all those mean things I've ever said about you.
Remember earlier tonight, we all made those really good rolls, and you said, I'm glad we got those really good rolls out of you. Well, we did.
All right.
It's
so many
9:22.
options.
Do we want to? Is this going to take a while to resolve?
You're just trying to get out of it.
No, I want to give Michael a chance to
hoping
think.
he'll forget.
Yeah, no.
Don't give him time.
Yeah, you don't want to give him time to get creative with this.
There's so many options here. The difficulty's narrowing it down. I'm gonna go with you on that, Yaker, because I've got to. Whatever happens is probably gonna take. This is a good cliffhanger to end on.
Okay.
I love ending on 100.
Oh dear God.
Oh yeah, we've done that before. Right?
We have.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And he's one-armedly trying to calm an injured horse in a field of bear traps. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh.
And he rolls 100.
So what happens when you have one leg and one arm?
Yaker, as they say back home, bless your heart, bless your heart.
What's that Egyptian torture where they tie you to like different parts of a horse? Oh, quartering.
Yeah.
I think Yaker's about to be quartered.
I think that's just medieval in general, right?
Scott, Yaker would be thirded.
Oh, poor Oscar. Poor-
Oh.
I think it's time to roll up a new character.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, we're calling it here. Here we go. Wow. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, God.
Definitely don't miss next week because that's going to be interesting. Until then, you can find us on underthelibrary.com. Please follow us on Twitter at underthelib. If you're listening on just the audio stream and you want to see us, we're on YouTube. Just search for Under the Library. Or if you're on YouTube and you don't want to see us anymore, find us wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, for me and Michael, for Chris, Wayne, Emily, Scott, Rick. Is that it? Did I name everybody? I feel like I forgot somebody.
Yes, you did.
I forgot Chris. Chris.
No,
for
you
Chris.
said- you
Did I say
said
Chris?
Chris.
Emily,
Double
Scott,
Chris.
Rick, me, Scott, Michael. That's everybody. For all of us. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Nailed it.
We're screwing up coming and going.